everybody, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to Week in Review. Now this is a week of, it's a smaller week in review. Normally we do a longer one where we talk about all the videos we did last week, short descriptions of them. Last week we did the 24-hour marathon where we played lots of games live, random games. They were amazing, wasn't it? I don't know, I'm recording this before that happened, but I'm assuming it was fun. I'm assuming I'm still awake at this point in time. Either way though, we still did put some reviews up last week, so let's tell you about them.
Hey everybody, I'm Zee Garcia. Here's what I reviewed last week. So I reviewed a scenario pack for Arkham Horror, the living card game, called The Blob That Ate Everything. And this I rated a 7 out of 10, which is a little low for Arkham Horror in my opinion, for how much I like the system. This one is one of those standalone scenarios in which you can play a single group or multi-groups all sort of connected and dealing with each other. Very interesting ideas. My main drawback for this one was it's supposed to be very funny, and it is tongue-in-cheek, and some of it is sort of 1950s horror vibe to it, which is great. But then the game breaks the fourth wall quite a bit, and I found those moments to be not only not funny, which I think they were going for them being funny, but also just break immersion in this system. So that pulled me out of it, or held it back in my opinion. So still enjoyable, especially if you don't mind that kind of humor. If you're a Deadpool fan, if you enjoy that sort of thing. But for me, it could have been stronger if they'd kept it in-game. And then I reviewed Momiji, which I rate a 5 out of 10. This is a small card game where you're drafting cards or just taking cards and playing them out in sets in front of you and scoring points for your stacks. With a whole bunch of rules on top of that, and a whole slew of variations on the same three things that don't feel like they add a lot to the ultimate score a few points from having some acorns and putting a 3 on top of 4 cards. 3 times 4 is 12 points. Great. It's a very basic scoring with a whole lot of rules to get you there, and not necessarily rules that then translate to very deep strategy or lots of moments of beard stroking and figuring out what's the best way to do something. So I found that the path to the end was less interesting than just the game itself, and I wish it would have been a little bit simpler, more accessible, retain some of the gorgeous artwork in it, some of the simplicity without everything getting in the way. I feel like this one got in its own way in many occasions. So that's it for me, everybody. My name is Zee Garcia. I'll see you on the next one.
Hi, this week I reviewed the game Horrified, a cooperative game for 1 to 5 players who have to save a village from famous classic monsters such as Dracula and Frankenstein. It is a game with a cool theme and very cool graphics, but it can be a little frustrating at times. So for that reason, I gave this one a 7 out of 10. Enjoy!
Hello everyone, this week I reviewed Metro X, the rail and write game. It's a flip and write game from Game Right, where you are flipping cards over, using them to cross off stations and try and sort of finish lines faster than your opponents, and I gave it a 6.5 out of 10.
Hey everybody, Chris Yee here. This week I did a 6 skippable card games list. These are all games that I ranked from a 5 all the way down to a 2. I won't go over all of them, but you can watch the video. These are card games where the 5s were, maybe had a good idea but kind of missed the mark, and the 2s are just absolutely just dreadful games that I would absolutely never want to play ever again. But I also did a rapid fire roundup where I took a look at 10 games that other folks here at the channel have reviewed already, and then I gave you my thoughts on those, so make sure to go watch those. That's been my week.
Okay, for me, it's all good this week. I took a look at Storytime Chess. This is a way to use stories and characters to teach kids chess, and you know what? It worked for me. 7 out of 10. Reality Shift. This one's a 7 out of 10. Now, this is a low 7 out of 10 because it's kind of a game I'm going to play once in a while where you're driving these little futuristic bikes that are magnetic all around cubes. And it sounds really fun, and it is fun, but it's also very, very, very random and chaotic. But it's an entertaining way to pass some time, so another 7 out of 10. Arcana Rising. This is from Gray Fox Games, and it has some production issues, and it also has a very generic name, very generic theme, but the game itself is really fun. It's a quick engine building game, similar in some senses to Res Arcana, and I think it's fun. You draft some cards, put them down, run your engine. It's a neat, fun game that I think a lot of people have not heard of. And then the big review for me this week was Massive Darkness. Massive Darkness, a dungeon crawl game where each of the different classes of characters felt really different. Everything just felt unique and interesting. Loved this game. 9 out of 10. I also took a look at all the Kickstarter upgrades that came with it. Fantastic stuff. Man, I want to play this one right now. That's how much I love it. I don't normally like dungeon crawl. I like dungeon crawls, but they're getting to be long and huge and campaign. This one is a single setting game. So much fun. And then we also did a Game and Talk last week. So you want to, if you haven't seen one of these, they're really high production values where we play through a game. I wasn't in this one, Betrayal at House on the Hill, but it's a lot of fun to watch everyone get involved. Ark Nova, I showed my upgrades for that. I talked about my top 10 Queen games and another shelf review. And of course, we had some of our live shows go up last week. Did I mention a 24-hour marathon? I lied. It was actually 30 hours. Lots of stuff. Anyway, until next time, I'm Tom Vasel. This is Week in Review on the Dice Tower.